Hello everyone, I'm Topher the Blue Collar Gentleman. At this channel we're dedicated to defining what makes a 21st century gentleman, and I thank you for stopping by. This past July marked a year since I had checked into my Facebook account. I just couldn't do it anymore. What had started out as a way to keep in touch with friends and family had turned absolutely heartbreaking. I'm not exaggerating. Through Facebook, I became aware that some people I considered friends had radically different values than I. Not opinions, values. Not membership in a different faith or political party than I, radically different values. I watched as my high school chums, who got the same expensive Jesuit education as I did, use anecdotal evidence as though it was just as valid as the scientific method in proving their point. I learned friends and family had racist, homophobic, sexist, transphobic, and just plain xenophobic views about everything. I think about Betty White, whose appearance on Saturday Night Live was made possible by a Facebook campaign. Turns out she had to have someone tell her what Facebook is. And, as she relayed the story on SNL's opening monologue, "And now that I do know what it is, I have to say, it sounds like a huge waste of time." I don't think truer words were ever spoken. I'll admit it has proven to be a valuable tool in the past. When my mom died last year, posting her passing on Facebook eliminated a lot of phone calls and multiple emails. That post reached almost everyone who needed to know that she had left us, and I was not really in an emotional state to start talking to people. Just like anything else on the planet, it has its pluses and minuses. The purpose of this video is not to convince you to close your Facebook account or any other social media account. This is just a small list of tips a gentleman should consider when interacting with others on social media. First off, try your best not to engage with people who resort to name-calling and making derogatory comments. You sinking to their level is more likely to happen than them rising to yours. Don't give people of that quality the power to make your behavior less than gentlemanly. It doesn't matter if your stance on the issue is the same as the insulting person or not. Agreeing with the person about whatever valid points they may have only encourages their bad behavior. Secondly, do not make any assumptions about gender. That means assumptions based on profile picture, name, or statements they've made. Statements such as "my wife" or "my boyfriend" do not necessarily reflect gender. The 21st century is a time for awareness. Someone named Bernard with a full beard who is married to someone named Daisy might not necessarily identify as male or even female. They could be non-binary. Showing awareness of this demonstrates that a gentleman is courteous and understanding of the modern world. Third, don't let anger, vindictiveness, or gloating run the show. If you can't make a cogent point without getting passionate, you're allowing your emotions to control you, which is something that a gentleman should never do. Besides, did you know that less than 1% of 1% of all online arguments between strangers result in even one of them seeing the other's point? Want to know where I got that statistic? I made it up. Which leads me to my fourth tip. Be diligent in your research and don't expect the same from the other person. People will fabricate statistics and articles, or they'll use op-ed pieces to prove their point. They'll expect you to take their word for their personal experiences and then expect you to agree that what happened to them should be a basis for public policy. And if you'd like to see how easily human beings lie, spend 10 minutes scouring most Instagram accounts. I'm not calling myself a saint. Just like anyone else, I'm guilty of stretching the truth and exaggerating. But as a gentleman, I make sure I don't share any alleged fact that I haven't confirmed on my own. The most valuable thing a gentleman will ever own is his reputation, and being too quick to prove a point can make you look foolish if you don't do your homework. And there you have it, a few tips for online interactions. Although I've given up on some social networks, I don't begrudge their existence. Keeping or deleting your social media accounts is entirely up to you. I find that most of us could use a little less time on them, So I'll use this as a gentle reminder to sometimes put down that phone. All I'd ever ask of any gentleman is that he maintain his own high standards when interacting with strangers online. Cheers, Topher.